So you add all of that existing stress that you have, plus a pandemic, and no wonder we're in this position right now, right? And so my goal for our time together, because we only have 45 minutes, and I wanted to make sure I was trying to leave you with some specific tools and strategies and frameworks and questions and things that you can use or you can noodle on and think about in service of how do we kind of take this in a different direction? How do we go from this to something that looks at least a little bit more hopeful, something like resilience, something that we can do to start to get our arms around managing this swirl of stressors, and how can we lead in a way that promotes these types of things. So as I go through the presentation, don't hesitate to take pictures. If you don't want to take and jot down notes, you can take pictures of anything. I'll be around too for questions. Don't hesitate to ask me anything about these topics. Critically, one of the biggest things that psychological safety and trust does is it helps when errors are made. Aaron teed up how important this is and the connection. So if somebody does make a mistake, if there is an issue that's happened in a trustful environment within a team, I feel more comfortable saying something before the issue becomes catastrophic because I've held it in because I'm so worried that something bad is going to happen. And there might not be great consequences from it, but at least you're dealing with it on the front end instead of in crisis mode. So it's very important concept. So how do you build it? So as leaders, especially, you have a very important role in terms of making sure there's high levels of trust on your teams. So once I started to stop my law practice, figure out and start to study what burnout was, I realized the 3 big warning signs that I were missing is the 3 big dimensions of burnout, and those are the 3 that I have on the slide right now. So this is how you know you've crossed over from something that looks a little bit more like stress into something that's more like burnout, and for those folks on your teams as well. It's this combination of all 3 things. So we tend to use the word burnout loosely and interchangeable with stress generally. We tend to boil down burnout just to the syndrome of exhaustion, and in reality, it's all 3 of these things. So this is one way for you to recognize how you've kind of gone from point A into point